Okay, so this is how we uh, log into the VMware host. In this particular scenario, this is Client Property Tax Services in Florida. They have a physical host on site. Uh, we have, and currently we have sites that have physical hosts with VMware and also cloud host as well. We have one in Canada and one also two in US. So basically, we access it via the HTTPS protocol with their IP address. In this case, we'll be accessing the property tax one. Usually, the username is root. It will be in IT glue where you find the credentials. So once you access the host, you'll be able to see the health of the host, the activities. So this one, you'll see the CPU. It's only utilizing 21%, the memory, and the storage. So you want to see the virtual machines. For instance, if there's a virtual machine that's actually offline or powered off, we can see the status of it. In this case, we see that everything is on. You have a play symbol on all the virtual machines in this particular host. If it wouldn't have a play symbol, you can select it and then select power on. But in this case, it's already on. You can power it off by clicking on power off here. It's better just to actually console into the machine. It'll give you like a like a session to log into the machine. You can actually log into it and you can power off the machine physically there. The tools to access the machine, like for instance the keyboard to put in the control alt and delete, you go under actions and then you go to guest OS and you see send keys and then sorry, this is a little finicky. Send keys, control, alternate delete. Once you get it, it'll give you the log on screen. And then you go in there and you can go ahead and power off. If you need to do any particular settings on the machine itself, you can just right click onto the machine. You go to edit the machine. These particular machines, you do have the capability of changing the CPU and the memory via on the live machine. You don't actually have to power it up. Uh, that, and to have this feature enable CPU hot add and also the memory hot add. What this enabled means that you can make changes while the machine is on. You don't have to power it off, and the changes are reflected in real time. So the moment you make that change, you log into the machine and go into the system settings or properties, you'll see that those changes have been reflected. You don't need to restart the computer. So I need to actually create a new virtual machine for this particular host. I'll show you the whole setup for doing that. On the host, you need to load the ISO for the operating system, whether it be Windows Server or Windows or any other operating system. You go here under storage, access your data store, which is your hard drive. Okay, so you go to the data store browser, and it's just like Windows uh, file manager. You can just go here, create folders, uh, create directories, upload files. So in here, in all our hosts, we have an ISO folder. And here you'll see already some ISOs loaded. So in this particular case, we don't have a Windows Server ISO. So I need to upload an ISO to here to be able to install a new virtual machine. I need to install Windows Server on this machine. So I'll need to create a folder. I'll do that right now. Call this Windows 2022 Server. Okay, these other ISOs, as you see here, Datto, we use Datto for the backup. This is Bare Metal Restore, also Cloudberry Bare Metal Restore. We're no longer using this, but this one's the ISO for Datto utilities. So here, I'm going to click on Windows Server where I need to upload the file. In this particular case, he does not have the ISO. So what I'll need to do is actually download the ISO from the Microsoft website. Whether you're doing Windows Server, you can, or Windows itself, you can do Windows Media Creation Tool. And you can download the image for Windows 10 or Windows 11. In my case, I need to download Windows Server 2022. We need to find the right link. There you go. Okay. All the ISOs are evaluation ISOs, so you have to license them and they'll become standard. You have to run a certain command. Okay. Download free trial. And download the ISO. It's going to make me ask some questions. And then you just download the ISO here. Alright, at this point I'm going to pause the video and then I'll come right back after the ISO is downloaded and I'll show you how you upload it. Okay, so once I have the ISO downloaded, I'm going to go ahead to upload. Then click open and it's going to upload to the folder. I'll go ahead and pause the video and I'll come right back after this completes and we'll see that ISO here. Okay, so as we can see, the ISO has been loaded here. So once we have the ISO that we need, we can go ahead and close the browser and go back to creating a new virtual machine. So I go here, right click, create or register a virtual machine. We're going to create a new one, so create a new virtual machine. Next, we're going to give it a name. We're going to call this ETS file share. Okay, we're going to create the OS. It's Windows. This one's going to be Windows 2022 Server 64-bit. Okay, I'm going to enable security. Next. Okay, that's telling you that it's going to be saved in this data store. And there's the options where you can start adding CPU, memory. So I'm going to go ahead and click, I think, I'm going to put hot add, and then memory. I'm going to do hot, and just change it to gigabytes, 32 gigs of RAM, hard drive, go to 500. Make sure it's connected to the network so it has internet. And then for the host device, we'll change this to data store ISO, and then select your ISO that you're going to boot into. Okay, and then go to the top, VM options. Okay, so VPS already enabled, VMware tools, go ahead and install that. Boot options, we want to make sure it's booting on UEFI. That's a new boot method. Virtual machine boots, force entry into the BIOS. We want that. Let's change this to 10,000 milliseconds and then 10 seconds. Okay, hit next. Finish. We should create the virtual machine there. Now we click on it. And then click here or here to power it on. Then boot up. And then you can select the drive to boot into. Now we'll proceed with the setup of Windows Server. And that's it, guys. That's how you create a virtual machine on VMware